Hi, Gemini. Welcome to your November 2024 horoscope. I know December and 2025 is right around the corner. I'm excited too. But for now, let's focus on the month ahead. November does have a bit of a different energy, and the main reason for that is because Pluto is going to enter the sign of Aquarius for good. And we also have Saturn going direct. On November 1st, we have a new moon in the sign of Scorpio, which for you, Gemini, is your 6th house. You might be feeling especially inspired when it comes to your health and your routine, and maybe even to finding a skill or a craft that you can develop and you can use to help others and be of service to others. But big caveat about this new moon, in order to feel this inspiration, we do need to dive deep first and take a look at the skeletons we may have hidden in the closet. In order to be mindful of the time in this monthly horoscope, I won't go further into what you can expect for this new moon. But don't worry, I have filmed an entire in-depth new moon horoscope for all of the zodiac signs. I will link it right here for you so that you can check it out. 2 days later, on November 3rd, we have two oppositions in the sky, so it might feel like a bit more of a tense day. These two oppositions are between Jupiter and Venus, and between Mars and Pluto. For you, Gemini, these oppositions are happening in your 1st, 2nd, 7th, and 8th houses. Overall, we do see this tension for you, Gemini, between being your own person, standing in your own power, maybe even taking care of yourself without the help of others, versus this other part of you that can know how much beauty and how much purpose and meaningful connection there can be when you also are in relationship with others, when you ask for help, when you show the parts of you that make you vulnerable to others. And this will be especially prevalent on November 3rd. And if you didn't have enough, on November 4th, the day after, we have quite a few astrological events still to come. So on the 4th, we have the Sun trining Saturn, and we also have Mars entering the sign of Leo. Mars enters your 3rd house of communication and local community, local surroundings. So you might find yourself especially energized to maybe get involved in your local community, to maybe work on your relationship with your neighbors or your siblings. And you may, in general, just feel like more caught up in the chaos of day-to-day life, caught up in a lot of the details of what's happening around you. This could also be the chaos coming in from the media, for example, or a lot of like online sources as well. So be very mindful that you don't overwhelm yourself with this Mars transit. And the trine between the Sun and Saturn is highlighting your 6th and 10th house. So especially now that Mars is entering your house of communication, you might find that you are also hearing a lot of different opinions, different ideas on what it means to have a healthy routine, on what it means to take care of your body. But because you have that trine with the Saturn and the Sun, it's almost as if you are sort of protected in that area. You're still able to touch base with your own opinions, your own definition of what it means to be healthy and strong and to have a meaningful routine that's just yours, personal routine. We have a bit of a rest, astrology-wise, for a couple of days. Then, on November 11th, we have Venus entering the sign of Capricorn. For you, Gemini, this is your 8th house. So you might feel like you want to beautify your intimate relationships in some way. Maybe you are making sure that when you have these deeper, meaningful conversations with this person, when you are connecting with them, that you are doing it in a more harmonic way. It could very literally be you're doing it over candlelight, you're doing it while holding each other's hands. But it could also be in the sense that your focus when having these relationships is a lot more on how can you maintain a good harmony and a good understanding and connection between the two of you. So honestly, it's, I think, really beautiful for you, Gemini, to have Venus in your 8th house this month. A couple of days later, on November 15th, we have a full moon in the sign of Taurus. This full moon is jam-packed with lots of things going on. Not only is the moon conjunct Uranus, we also have Venus squaring the north and the south node, and Saturn, who is just about to go direct. For you, Gemini, this full moon is happening in your 12th house. And with full moon, we see us reaping the rewards of what we have sown, of the actions that we have taken. It's almost like the seeds that we have planted start to take full bloom and we can finally see the consequences. Because this is in your 12th house, Gemini, you are seeing the consequences of your spiritual actions. You are seeing the consequences of the efforts you have taken to connect to that side of you, to take time to connect to your intuition and to more of the unseen parts of life. Remember, the moon is conjunct Uranus, so this bloom, the fruits of your labor, might come unexpectedly and they might take you by surprise. Because we have Saturn and the North Node and South Node involved in this full moon, this is really a full moon where you see the effects of Saturn. Saturn is basically like, okay, if you've been putting the good work in, if you've been really working and doing what's required, not slacking off, then you will consequently see good results. And because we have the North and the South Node involved as well, we do see that whatever is happening around this full moon is probably also for the best. It's for the good of your soul's evolution. Because again, the North and the South Node usually push us towards that direction. All of that being said, there is so much that we can talk about with this full moon in Taurus. So make sure you press that subscribe button, because closer to the full moon, I will be posting a dedicated full moon video where we will go through the horoscopes for all 12 of the zodiac signs. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that one. A couple of days later, on November 19th, we have Pluto entering Aquarius. And you may have heard me saying this many times through the last 1.5 years. Pluto enters Aquarius. Oh no, now it's back in Capricorn. Oh no, now it's back in Aquarius again. I do promise this is it. Pluto will never enter Capricorn anymore in our lifetime. And on the 19th, it is for good in the sign of Aquarius. For you, Gemini, this is your 9th house. So for the next 20 years, you will be exploring what it really means to have your own values, your own belief systems, and how you can make that really meaningful so that it's really aligned to who you are and what you believe in. And for the sake of time, we don't have enough time to get into everything that Pluto and Aquarius will mean. So I will link this video right here for you so that you can really take a look at what it means for your own zodiac sign. It's a live that I did, I believe 1.5 hours long, where we go through all of the signs. So make sure you check that one out. The day after, on the 21st of November, we also have the Sun entering the sign of Sagittarius, and as a result, sextiling Pluto. For you, Gemini, these are your 7th and 9th houses. So you might especially be feeling that your partner is helping you in some way to really figure out, what are your belief systems? Are there any specific religions or values that you align with? You might find that it's especially your partner, maybe something they say, something they do that triggers your thinking in that area. We wrap up the month with a grand trine in fire signs. The grand trine is happening between Mars, the North Node, and the Sun. For you, Gemini, this is highlighting your third, seventh, and 11th house. So we see this wonderful relationship focus with this grand trine. So from the 22nd to the 27th, that stretch of 5 days, it might be a really good idea to spend those days in relationship, to reach out to friends, to reach out to partners, neighbors, siblings, any communities or groups you belong to. You might find that this really inspires you, gets you excited about life. So overall, Gemini, November should be an interesting month for you. We do see quite a bit of focus on relationships, but also this idea of trying to find a balance with who you are as an individual and not getting lost among all of the opinions and all of the ideas of those that you are in relationship with. So I hope you're excited for the month of November, and I do hope this horoscope helps give you some insight into what you can expect. Thanks for joining me, Gemini, and don't forget, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the full moon horoscope coming up. And if you're curious to learn more about that new moon that's happening at the beginning of the month, then I'll leave that video right here for you. Thanks again, Gemini. Hope to see you again soon.